Okay, let's unpack this. In the world of finance, well, staying ahead of illicit activities is always a challenge, isn't it?
It certainly is a constant battle.
So today, we're taking a deep dive into something pretty critical. The Central Bank of Nigeria's Customer Due Diligence Regulations 2023. They aren't just some dry list of rules.
No, not at all. They're actually quite sophisticated. It's a risk-based approach,
Oh.
really, designed to tackle money laundering, terrorism financing, and proliferation financing, too.
Right. And our mission for you today is simple. Give you a shortcut, basically, to the most important nuggets of these regulations. So you're not just informed, but, truly insightful.
And what's quite significant here, I think, is that these regulations, they officially kicked off in May 2023, but they go way beyond just a simple checklist.
Okay. How so?
Well, they demand a dynamic compliance lifecycle.
Yeah.
It's built on four sort of core pillars:
Mm-hmm.
robust customer identification,
Right.
diligent beneficial ownership verification, understanding the source of funds and wealth. That distinction is important,
Mm-hmm.
and continuous ongoing due diligence. It signals a really serious commitment to transparency. And it has some, well, genuinely impactful implications for how financial institutions operate.
Absolutely. One of the first things that just jumps out is the absolute ban on anonymous accounts. That seems pretty foundational.
Completely. No more hiding behind just a number or, a fake name.
But for you, our listener, what's the real game changer here in how Nigerian banks identify customers, especially individuals? This must tie into that first pillar you mentioned, robust identification.
Precisely. It's about leaving no stone unturned, essentially.
Yeah.
Beyond your usual name and address, we're talking about needing verifiable data. Things like your bank verification number,
Right.
the BVN.
Which is unique to everyone with an account, right?
Exactly. And your tax identification number, the TIN. But here's the bit that catches people's attention. Even your social media handles are now potentially part of the verification matrix.
Wow, social media handles. That's a fascinating leap into modern identity verification, isn't it?
It shows a pretty radical shift towards using digital footprints in ID checks.
And for businesses, it's a similar kind of deep dive, correct? You hear that phrase, piercing the corporate veil.
Exactly that. Piercing the corporate veil just means banks have to look beyond the official company structure. They need to find out who truly owns or controls a company.
Even if they're using complex legal setups or nominee directors.
Yes, even then. And this ties directly into that second pillar: diligent, beneficial ownership verification. It's all about closing loopholes. The regulations specifically prohibit accounts for things like foreign or blind trusts, where the true ownership is hidden away, especially if they're based in tax havens.
That level of scrutiny sounds intense. It really begs the question for our listeners. Why such granular detail now, particularly on obscured ownership in these trusts? What's driving this very dynamic approach?
It's largely a response, I'd say, to evolving digital threats. We've seen the CBN take quite a dynamic stance with the fintech sector, haven't we?
Yeah, temporarily halting onboarding.
Right, and then mandating enhanced physical address checks for all account tiers, and even prohibiting P2P crypto transactions on their platforms.
Mm-hmm.
It just highlights how regulators are trying to react to new ways illicit funds can move.
Yeah.
They're demanding institutions keep pace.
So institutions really need to be agile, which I suppose leads us to that critical risk-based approach you mentioned. We know low-risk customers might get simplified due diligence,
Yeah, a lighter touch.
but the high-risk ones, like politically exposed persons, PEPs, people in prominent public roles, basically,
Or those from high-risk countries, yeah.
they face enhanced due diligence. What really makes this enhanced scrutiny different now, especially regarding the source of wealth?
Okay, this is a really noteworthy point. The distinction between source of funds and source of wealth, it's not just about asking, where did the money for this specific transaction come from?
Yeah.
For these high-risk individuals, institutions now have to understand the origin of your entire net worth, your source of wealth.
The whole picture.
Exactly. It's a significantly deeper dive. It aims for a comprehensive understanding of a customer's financial standing and directly addresses our third pillar: understanding the source of funds and wealth.
That's a crucial distinction, moving from just one transaction to the whole financial background. So compliance clearly isn't a one-time snapshot, which brings us neatly to the fourth pillar, continuous due diligence.
Indeed. It's very clear that compliance isn't a one-time event. There's a really strong emphasis on continuous ongoing due diligence and transaction monitoring.
So constantly watching.
Constantly scrutinizing activities, yes, to ensure they actually align with what's known about the customer, their profile. And perhaps most critically, if an institution suspects something illicit, something fishy, and they cannot complete their due diligence checks,
What then?
they must file a suspicious transaction report, an STR, to the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, the FIU. That's the central body fighting financial crime there. And importantly, they are strictly prohibited from tipping off the person they suspect.
No, warning the customer.
Absolutely not. In fact, they could even skip certain due diligence steps if they genuinely believe doing them would tip someone off and compromise an investigation.
So pulling this all together, what does this really mean for you, the listener, and the wider financial landscape in Nigeria?
Well, it means institutions need robust internal compliance programs. Really diligent record keeping for 5 years after a relationship ends, by the way.
5 years, okay.
And regular staff training is essential because the penalties for getting this wrong, for noncompliance, they are severe.
How severe are we talking?
We're talking substantial fines, the kind that could genuinely cripple a financial institution, potential imprisonment for individuals found culpable, and even asset forfeiture. The CBN is showing zero tolerance here.
It sounds like serious business indeed.
This framework isn't just about ticking boxes or following rules. It's really aiming for a cultural shift, a move towards much greater financial transparency and accountability across Nigeria. And the dynamic nature of these regulations means that financial institutions, and really everyone involved in the financial ecosystem, they just have to stay continuously vigilant and ready to adapt.
Exactly. It's a living framework, isn't it? It demands constant adaptation. So for you, our listener, maybe the next time you hear about financial regulations or compliance, think about this. How might these evolving rules fundamentally reshape not just how money moves around, but maybe even our basic understanding of financial privacy in this globally interconnected world we live in?